Happy Sunday fun day. Welcome to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis as Bitcoin recaptured 52,000 and quoting Ed Snowden in a brand new tweet. Unpopular but true, Bitcoin is the most significant monetary advance since the creation of coinage. If you don't believe me or don't get it, I don't have time to try to convince you. Sorry. Now, Cantor Fitzgerald CEO Howard Lutnick says, I am a fan of crypto, but let's be very specific. Bitcoin, just Bitcoin. He says, if you want to freeze Tether, you call the Justice Department. If you want to freeze Ethereum, you call Joe Lubin. There's no one to call with Bitcoin. Facts. And quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Kaiser, you don't change Bitcoin. Bitcoin changes you. Nothing stops Bitcoin's vector. Money existed before the state. Bitcoin separates money from the state. Bitcoin kills the state. And the Bitcoin ETFs have zero impact. Also in today's show, rich dad Robert Kiyosaki expects Bitcoin to take off and foresees gold crashing to $1,200. You hear that, Peter Schiff? Also, Dave Portnoy regrets selling Bitcoin and wishes that Barstool invested $10 million in the King crypto. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin ETFs post $2.2 billion worth of net inflows in just a week, as well as Bitcoin, will it hit turbulence? We're going to be discussing the calm before the storm, approaching the six-figure price discovery mode. And speaking of six figures, also $150,000 Bitcoin price incoming, predicts hedge fund veteran Mark Yusko. I'll be sharing his exact timeline. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. Now, welcome crypto fam. Let me know if the stream is loud, clear, and smooth. We recaptured 52,000, at least on Coin360. I know the BitBo price is a little lagging, but it is what it is. Appreciate everyone joining the stream. A little weekend pumpage. Send it. Let's go. Welcome, Jeff. Welcome, SJ from the Bay. Good to see you guys. I appreciate the feedback and all the support, family. Aaron says, up, bro, you the man. Good to see you, bro. OG Backroad Crypto Bootleg, what it do? Good to see you, James. Hey, dude, love your videos. Thanks from Melbourne, Australia. Cheers. Shout out to my Aussies in Australia. Darth Melda in the building. Lock Sky, the legend himself who gifted 50 memberships on yesterday's episode. If you missed it, it was pretty lit. So check it out. Shout out to Jennifer. Always a pleasure. Good to see you today, family. Adam, what it do? Pete Thomas, loud and clear in Virginia. Love to hear that. Thanks for your Sunday dedication. Church is in session, preaching the holy gospel of Satoshi. You already know. Bought another Bitcoin. Massive shout out to Corey Loomis. Well done. Sandman says, good to go. First time I was able to catch this live. JV, thanks for preaching. You are morning's drive to work, learning a ton. Greatly appreciate the feedback, Wayne, and thank you for tuning in. Love and light. Pump the like. Thank you, Pete. Pump the like. It pumps the stream. We appreciate it. Hi, YouTube, says Lewis. Abdel, never sell. 100%. Martin, clear, loud dude. Always good. Morning from Cali. Shout out to the Crypto Mama. California in the building. Let's get this thing pumped up. You already know. Greetings from Detroit. Loud, clear, and smooth. Good to note. Leroy, Las Vegas, greetings. For Lex Hope, Cali in the building. Stylist, nobody is surprised when a popular growth stock is expected to triple. Why doubt with the unique Bitcoin? Precisely. And let's just fathom only a 2x, which is a doble, is from the all-time high, at least 138,000 per Bitcoin. And that is extremely conservative for this cycle. What's good, family? Shout out to Raven, K-Jam, what it do? I know you, a 3-letter word, BTZ. Let's go. What it do? How do I open an account? Asked this bit thing. Are you talking about Bitcoin, fam? Pump it up. And speaking of pump it up, I got a little track to play for you guys. And shout out to K-Jam for sharing it with me. Pump it up. Shout out to Folsom Hodl. It's their birthday. So everyone show Folsom Hodl some birthday love. We greatly appreciate you spending your special day with the fam live on the stream. So that's what's up, family. We are all JVs. Now we're talking. V-Pull, welcome, bro. Appreciate you joining the stream. Welcome everyone just joining us. Jason Jimenez, hello from Salt Lake. We're going to get a big pump this week. 55,000 is in play. We're starting off the weekend, right? Getting ready for the next leg up. Let's go. Happy birthday, says Aaron. Happy birthday. Sunday fun day, brother, from David. Pump it up. Pump it up. Shout out Little Bubble, the new Pump It Up Joe Budden remix track. I'm a fan. Happy birthday. A lot of birthday love. Wired in money for another half a bitty Friday. Stupid long weekend. So cringe when waiting for a big wire like that to clear. Yeah, so typically it's like 2 business days for a wire to clear. They tell you within 24 hours, but I've never had a wire available like the same day it was sent. It's always the following business day. Yeah, and especially over the weekend. That's why banks suck. Bitcoin never sleeps. Crypto's 24/7. Banks will forever suck. I bet with you tomorrow morning or tonight, Western time, Bitcoin will pump. I'm with you, Zach. I'm betting on it as well. Why not? Let's go. Yeah, Arthur would be extremely disappointed Bitcoin didn't reach 150 at least this cycle, which a lot of people are saying it will reach. Agree with you, because that'd be, in my opinion, it's a very conservative bearish target. I'm more optimistic. My range for cycle peak this cycle is anywhere between 222,000 and 500,000 per coin. So I'm more optimistic, but nonetheless, even a 2x is pretty sexy. I mean, 138, 150,000. Great value every day, a new prediction, a new future value that you will have entertainment and hopes every day. You got that right, stress-free. Appreciate you, man. By the way, Strike Wire worked great. Good to note. Good to note. Shout out Strike and Jack Maulers. 10 minutes per block. TikTok. You already know, KJM. Do your future self a favor and get some Evmos. I've never heard of the Evmos. Pump up the coin. Pump it up. Yeah, man. Shout out Doug. Cheers. Matthew, welcome. Everyone just joining the stream. Pump the likes to pump the stream.
Pump it up.
You already know. What's the second best crypto? I mean, that's a question I only asked Michael Saylor.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
I'm not saying I'm number one.
Sorry, I lied. Finish those lines, family. What's the highest market cap of Bitcoin when it hit the all-time high? So market caps of Bitcoin, believe, surpass, I don't know precisely. I have to look that up. But the entire crypto market cap bench pressed 3 trillion, and right now we're just shy of 2 trillion, 1.96 trillion, which you'll see when we do the market watch. So if Bitcoin had 50% dominance then, which was probably even higher, then it's safe to say the Bitcoin market cap all-time high must have been greater than 1.5 trillion. Correct me, guys, if I'm wrong, but that would be my instinct. Shout out Doug. Greatly appreciate that membership being gifted to Josh Rodriguez. You've just been hooked up with the MicroStrategy membership of the channel. Speaking of memberships, yesterday's show was unlike anything I experienced. We had roughly 80 memberships gifted in one show. Unheard of. And thanks to Lock Sky sparking it off with a 50 membership gift to 50 members. It was pretty amazing, pretty remarkable. So I appreciate you guys. There you go. You finished the bars for me. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
I'm sorry, I lied. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
100%. 1.9, amazing. Thank you, Lock Sky. So is that the all-time high Bitcoin market cap? Good to note. Appreciate you, brother. And are you an early Bitcoin adopter? Let me know what year you got involved. JV needs to pay royalties to Saylor for that forever clip. For real. When I see the Giga Chad, I'm just going to give him a bunch of Bitcoin or something. I don't know. My buddy Josh's birthday was yesterday, and Josh gets a membership. Cheers to that. And shout out Doug. Shout out to your brother Josh and everyone celebrating their birthday today. We greatly appreciate that, family. Much love, much respect. Respect the pump and pump it up.
Look, pump it up if your game and went long. When the dip hit, you just stayed like King Kong.
Woo! I love it, man. Keep the comments coming, but let's get this show on the road. Welcome, everyone, to Pod, episode 1555, the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Important to smash the subscribe to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every day, just like this. Also equally important to smash the like to help pump the stream, as it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. Also turn on all notifications. That way you get notified each and every day when I go live, as the time I go live varies from day to day. For example, I'll be going live extra early tomorrow. So just FYI. But nonetheless, yes, today is pod number 1555. I'm your host, JV, and today is February 18th, 2024. Happy Sunday, fun day. JV, live and in the flesh, preaching the holy gospel of Satoshi. Bitcoin recaptured $52,000 on Coin360. So let's do our market watch. As you can see here, Bitcoin up 1% on the day. Cardano up 6%. Ether almost trading at 2,900. So Ether's been on a tear as well. Matic approaching $1, up 6.3%. And overall, the altcoins are crushing it right now. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, the current crypto market cap just shy of 2 trillion, sitting at 1.96 trillion. The all-time high is roughly 3 trillion. So we're slowly approaching, family. Now, 24-hour volume is roughly 59 billion, and the Bitcoin dominance is back on the decline at 51.9%. Yesterday was like 52.4%. And the Ether dominance is at 17.4%, gaining a little momentum. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past 24 hours, WorldCoin up 25%, the Graph up 22%, and BitTorrent up 13.5%. Below that, we got Immutable, Ronin, Beam, Woo, Hedera, Jupiter, Near Protocol, Polygon, Stay, Injective, Cardano, and Blur. Now, which altcoins are you most bullish on, family, for this particular bull run 2024-2025? Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles to get a visual perspective, you can see the top 100 cryptos, virtually everything minus maybe 4 or 5, just a handful in the red. So the alts are on a tear right now. Impressive gains across the board. And zooming out on the monthly, even more impressive gains with some of these alts up literally over 100%. Such as WLD and Tau. Stacks has been crushing as well, 69%, IMX 81%, Pith 78%, and Beam 59%. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, yesterday was a 76 in extreme greed. Today we're back down at a 72 greed. Last week was a 71, and last month a 51 neutral. Now, my favorite metric to be staring at every day leading into the halving is Bitcoin halving clock, scheduled to take place 58 days, less than 2 months out, fam, with the scheduled halving estimated date to be April 17th. If you're pretty ecstatic for the Bitcoin halving, holla at your boy. And do you think we'll continue marching towards price discovery as we get closer and closer to the halving? And how many of you think we'll hit price discovery, which is ultimately 69,000 and above? And how many of you think we could potentially hit 6 figures, 100,000 or above at the time of the Bitcoin halving? Let me know, family, and I'll check the comments. Welcome everyone just joining the stream. Michael Sarami, IMX, Beam, killing it for me. Let's freaking go. Thanks, says Emilio. Cheers, brother. Welcome, Mr. Bone Daddy. What it do? What up, Gutty? PLS, you're bullish on. Good to note. Bitcoin or bust. I'm with you on that, Paul.
More than 5 sats in your stack, then get it on.
Yes, if you got more than 5 sats in your stack, then get it on. Super and Prime 2. Right on, family. It's going up forever, Laura. Actually, that's one of my favorite clips. Speaking of that.
There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura.
You heard that. First and foremost here. Shout out, Sailor. Sub Bro Skywalker in a building. Bonk was a rug. Go figure. I think it is going to be on the 15th for the halving. It can be, of course, that's not in stone. It goes by the blocks. That's the estimated time. So it doesn't have to be April 17th. It can theoretically be the 15th. It could be the 20th. We don't know precisely, but as we get closer, it'll adjust itself. 100,000 Bitcoin is too easy. I agree with you, Joe, considering we already crushed, what, 69,000? That was all the way back in 2021. Yeah, I mean, it looks like Bitbo is frozen. Let me refresh that because that drive me crazy. Bitbo, what's going on, Bitbo? Unless we're just stuck at 51.7 on Bitbo. No, there we go. At least it shows now we're up for the day. It was a little stagnant. The refresh worked, but it is lagging behind Coin360 and Coinbase because Coinbase we're already at 52. The Giga Chad tells no lies. Preach 2025, the year of the boating accident. Love the little music in the mix and sailors. That's dope, bro. Appreciate that, Michael. Block TikTok. Love it, bro. Cheers. Shout out Palm Beach Chris. Good to see you, broski. Spiritual Vibe. Welcome. Pump those sats to $1 each. I'm with you on that. I agree with you. How many of you feel sat should be $1 right now? Holla.
Had the people on my back to get a song. Bears broke, have a toke, we smoked them like a bomb.
Woo! Yes, loving it. Appreciate you guys. But anyways, let's dive into today's Bitcoin technical analysis. Check out the charts where the Bitcoin price action is likely to go next. Here you go. Bitcoin price dices with 52,000 as the CME Bitcoin futures open interest hits a record 6.8 billion. That's right. Bitcoin returned to the center of an intraday trading range into the February 18th weekly close as the bulls profited from weekend trading. Where my Bitcoin bulls at? Make some noise, pump the lights to pump the stream. Data from TradingView showed 52,000 acting as a focal point for Bitcoin price consolidation, precisely where we're at too at the time of this live stream. Now a swift rebound added nearly 1,500 in the hours that followed. However, at this time, the lows had not been seen for a fresh retest. Well, that's right. Yesterday, we were correcting some. We were in the 50s, and now we're right back where we left off. Analyzing the week's action, we have Yusko flagged a change in trader behavior in the latter half of the Wall Street trading week. Stop buying, he revealed, had subsided toward the weekend with mostly taker-driven dips and bounces since. So far, seeing some spot buyers return here with Binance Spot leading, as he shares here on X. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Meanwhile, Burgoyne open interest on CME Group's Bitcoin futures hitting a record 6.8 billion was indicative of volatility to come. Precisely what we're witnessing, volatility, and expect more leading into the halving as every cycle around this time, extreme volatility, which means life force. Discussing open interest more broadly, popular trader Dan Crypto Trades noted a divergence when it was denominated into Bitcoin. Quoting him here, this 100% plus rally from October has been healthy in terms of leverage, in my opinion. Funding has mostly kept its neutral rate and open interested denominated in Bitcoin is lower. In USD value, of course, it has gone up during the same time as the underlying asset went up in value. Now for the key price weekly close levels for Bitcoin to emerge, Yusko said the bulls needed to preserve upward momentum into Bitcoin's RSI in the 4-hour time frames into the weekly close, which we're going to get probably here in a few hours, being it is going on Sunday evening, right now Sunday afternoon, depending upon where you live. Now, the 21-day exponential moving average is currently at 51.5, which is also an important indicator. We're currently above. So in terms of spot flows around 52 and 53, notable spot selling into the bounces, which is often the case with profit taking. Key from here with the current uptrend is seeing sufficient spot demand on the dips, mostly seen as absorption at the lows where limit buying outweighs taker selling. Now, he also tweeted here, this is Matthew Highland, Bitcoin weekly close above 49, and it is bullish. Close below and 44 comes into play. Well, we're clearly closing above 49. We're probably going to close at 52 or above, if not 52, and we dump in the next, it's still going to be well above 49. So either way, onwards and upwards entering this coming week. Now, quoting legendary Edward Snowden, unpopular but true. Bitcoin is the most significant monetary advance since the creation of coinage. If you don't believe me or don't get it, I don't have time to try to convince you. Sorry. Very powerful words coming from someone I dearly respect. And also, Cantor Fitzgerald, who Max Kaiser was orange pilling just the other day with Bukele, hence why it was the feature story of the podcast a couple of days ago and why I featured him on the thumbnail. This guy, Howard Lutnick, multi-billionaire. I am a fan of crypto, but let's be very specific. Bitcoin, just Bitcoin. If you want to freeze Tether, you can just call the Justice Department. If you want to freeze Ethereum, you just call Joe Lubin. There is no one to call with Bitcoin. That's right. There are no attack vectors, which separates it from everything else and is truly decentralized. Now, quoting Max Kaiser in regards to this dude over here, who is ultimately speaking doom and gloom and how the spot ETF is very bad for Bitcoin and ultimately is what he's saying. Max responded, you don't change Bitcoin, Bitcoin changes you. This guy thinks his opinion matters. It doesn't. Nothing stops Bitcoin's vector. Money existed before the state. Bitcoin separates money from the state, and Bitcoin kills the state. Bitcoin ETFs have zero impact. And quoting another analyst, Titan of Crypto, says Bitcoin at 61,000 is imminent. If the ABCD pattern were to play out, Bitcoin would reach 61,000 sooner than many expect, as detailed right here on this chart. And quoting analyst Mikhail Van de Pop, Bitcoin consolidating at 52,000 with the total market cap of 1.9 trillion, almost 2 trillion. The upside looks relatively capped for Bitcoin. My overall thesis is a continuation of 54 to 58, then a consolidation and broader correction. After that, rotation towards the alts. So let me know your thoughts on this prediction. When are you feeling we're going to hit his target between 54 and 58? Do you think that will likely be this week or sometime here in February? Let me know. And happy 420, as it's exactly 4:20 p.m. here in Puerto Rico, 3:20 p.m. Eastern in New York. Edward Snowden actually has a lot of time in his Moscow apartment. He just cannot be bothered. Silas got jokes. Narcissism, Machiavellianism, what does that say? Psychopathy and sadism, says Emilio Gonzalez. What up, gangsters? What up, Wrench Whisperer? I am bullish on OpenAI ERC20, says Aaron Wilcox. True news, Gary Gensler is opening a hair design salon. Man, oh my God. Doesn't surprise me. Why wouldn't he have a hair salon? He has the perfect non-comb over because he's completely bald and looks like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. But I digress. 55,000 this week. Send it. So, show of hands. Put a 1 in the live chat right now if we're going to smash 55,000 this week. Meaning by Friday, next 5 days. Holla at your boy, let me know. I want to see how many of you are bullish, which ultimately means, what is that, $3,000 pump? That's nothing, family. Stock market closes tomorrow. Oh, that's right, it's President's Day. Is that correct? Holiday tomorrow? So the banks are closed, so sorry, the person who sent that wire. That wire's not going to clear anytime soon. I am scared it'll crash this week. Don't be scared, Sly. Have some faith. 1111, 11:20 a.m. Southeast Alaska. Let's go. 111111. Huddle. Don't panic. 11111. Don't dump. Pump it up.
Oh yeah, we heard Kramer report that.
Screw Kramer. Inverse it.
He said, we bought more bags till we got a sword back.
Boom. 11111. We do got a 2. After about 100 ones. I am not scared if it crashes or goes from the dollar cost averaging. It doesn't matter if you're holding for the big gains. Yeah, man, exactly. One Bitcoin will always be equivalent to one Bitcoin. So don't get freaked out by the US dollar price. It's the dollar which has the mass volatility. Bitcoin just guaranteed to continue going up in purchasing power. Dollars doomed. Death of the dollar. Dump it up. Got proof of the hash rate. It has been moving all weekend. So much for not trading the weekend. Word 50, then 55. So you're calling for another pullback. The FOMO will come. Hey, JV, what up? Shout out McLovin. Shout out Fred. Good to see you guys. Can't wait till we are not judging Bitcoin by the dollar trash. Good point, Doug. I'm with you on that.
Can't short your dork. We can't afford that.
You can't short your dork. We can't afford that.
Wait for the pump to come. We should have bought that. Yeah.
Exactly. One Bitcoin is always one Bitty. Preach. Now that I bought up all the Bitcoin, I'm buying up all the Ethereum. Are you paraphrasing on Larry Fink there? So that's another question. Do you think we're going to get the Ethereum ETF this year? Yay or nay? Let me know. Got bags so heavy, my poor back. I love it. Bitcoin monopoly money. More like fiat monopoly money. Bitcoin tomorrow, 55, 57. Send it. Pamp City, ETF. Oh, yeah, man. The ETF inflows are no joke. We're going to be discussing unprecedented ETF volume here shortly. Keep the comments flowing. This is live and interactive. Greatly appreciate it. Joe, do you think Bitcoin will hit 55 this week? I do. In fact, we're going to do another 55,000 pump watch when we break 52. And right now we're sitting right at about 52, depending upon the exchange. ETH is useless, says Omar. Yeah, I don't like the fact they can call Joe Lubin and say, hey, freeze the network. That's not a good look. I pet my BlackRock. Full bull. Let's go. Anyways, fam, a lot to cover. Let's dive into our next story of the day and discuss a gold crash. That's right. Robert Kiyosaki, rich dad, expects Bitcoin to take off, but foresees gold crashing below $1,200 an ounce. You hear that, Peter Schiff? Check it. Yeah, and shout out to Rich Dad, by the way. On Wednesday, Kiyosaki shared a question by Andy Schectman, CEO of Miles Franklin Precious Metals Investments, and a frequent guest on the Rich Dad Show. Andy asked a very important question: who is going to buy U.S. bonds? Rich Dad wrote, banks are buying gold, not U.S. debt. How will America run without money? How will the world run without money? What will the world do? And here's what Kiyosaki shared. Gold is going to crash probably below $1,200. Silver will take off, as will Bitcoin. And let me know if you agree with that sentiment. He's ultimately more bullish, obviously, on silver and Bitcoin and not on gold, but he is a long-term Bitcoin, not just Bitcoin, but obviously gold and silver advocate. He's been preaching about that for decades. I've been reading his books for decades, from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the Cash Flow series, and all that good stuff. But anyways, Rich Dad on Monday commented on how some financial advisors are now offering spot Bitcoin ETFs to their clients. Quoting him here, finally, a few financial planners are recommending investing in gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Why have financial planners not recommended investing in hard assets earlier? That's the million-dollar question. They're decades behind, really. Answering his own question, he detailed dollars, money, baby, commissions. Gold has beaten the S&P for decades. The S&P is about to crash by 70%. Now, that's a pretty bold prediction. Let me know if you agree. Do you think the S&P will crash by 70%? He says, don't be a loser. Choose your financial advisors carefully. Sage advice, as they're not all created equal, family. Most of them are completely ignorant of Bitcoin. I know from firsthand experience. Now, prepare for the biggest crash in history, a crash I forecasted in my book, Rich Dad's Prophecy, years ago. So a big mega crash is incoming. Let me know if you agree with that sentiment. Now, on Thursday, Kiyosaki slammed the Fed on X. Kudos to him. Sick and tired of hearing experts ask, what's the Fed doing? The Fed is the motherfucking problem. And yes, JV paraphrases from time to time when I feel it's necessary, just FYI. The Fed is a criminal motherfucking organization. The Fed has destroyed the economy, made the poor and middle class more poor, and bailed out their rich banking friends. Wake the f up. Pay less attention to what the Fed is saying and what the Fed is doing. And again, the Fed is a criminal organization. I repeat, the Fed is a criminal mother-freaking organization. Let me know if you agree. Despite expecting the price of gold to crash, the renowned author stressed the following: rather than trust the Fed, I prefer to trust gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Now here's JV's version. Never trust the Fed. The only thing I trust: Bitcoin and God. Now, last month, Kiyosaki warned investors about the U.S. government's ballooning debt, urging them to buy biddies. He recently explained why he owns Bitcoin, emphasizing that the crypto protects against the theft of our wealth via our money. And following the approval of the spot Bitcoin ETFs, the famous author revealed that he increased his Bitcoin holdings. Respect. He believes Bitcoin will soon hit 150,000, which is the title of today's podcast. So many analysts are anticipating this 150 G's, baby. Send it. Advising investors to pay attention to the upcoming Bitcoin halving. All eyes on halving, family. So there you go. Let me know if you're enjoying the paraphrasing, because it keeps me entertained. Hopefully I'm entertaining you. JB paraphrases muchos. Captain Paraphrase. You know, that's what he really wanted to say. I'm channeling here. Mill Bay, British Columbia, India, house and stack in my biddies. Cheers to that. DNA Noonan, what it do? Kiyosaki is the only advisor you need. Preach. Anyone telling you to buy Bitcoin? Pump it up.
Crypto to zero, they really thought that.
Crypto to zero, they really thought that?
Again, you can call me 3AC because I'm blowing it up.
Central banks are taking a loss on their gold hoards. Seems to be this way. I know China is hoarding a massive amount of gold. I know all the central banks ultimately are. Bitcoin is about to dump. That's why we pump that. True, annoying. Just talk like your normal self. This is my normal self, big dog. Just FYI. Paraphrasing means I was ultimately just adding some F words into Kiyosaki's quotes because I felt it was relevant. Let's just leave it at that. Hi, JV, watching from Cornwall, England. Your paraphrasing is good. Thank you, David. Just trying to wake up the mentally dead here. I think the Kiyosaki as the type to help you get the capital to buy the Bitcoin. That's right. Hit the like. Thank you, Fairground. Dump silver, buy Bitcoin. Preach. You need to spread bet, so keep some gold and silver as wise, says Martin. My gold is in some jewelry. I got some gold jewelry. That's about it. I don't have any gold bars. I do hear now they're putting tracking devices in the gold bars, which makes it that much more interesting to confiscate your gold if they wanted to. Gold will crash. The S&P is a joke. The Fed is a joke right in front of us. Preach. Phil prediction is by March 13th, XRP will finally go parabolic the day the lawsuit is over. Well, for XRP holders, I hope you're right. I want to see you guys win too. Bitcoin is in a court case. Are you talking about fake Toshi? Darth Melda was checking out Sean at G-Day Bitcoin earlier. I hate it when my favorite YouTube Bitcoiners go live at the same time. Oh no! You need a beautiful voice. Keep talking, bro. You have a beautiful, thank you, Jay. The cap is fading with you. This cap. Yeah, this is like for a year now. I've had this one. Bitcoin's just going to keep climbing up and up and away, Billy. That's what's up. What up, Erico? Let's go, JV. Bless you all. God bless, God bless, God bless. Anyways, we now got 500 people on the stream. Pump the likes to continue pumping the stream, and we'll continue to live the Bitcoin dream. Cheers to Doug. Greatly appreciate that super family. Love and light and respect. Jennifer says DNA divide the amount that the Bitcoin is currently, and then the time of the answer. 51,000 beast. Go Chili's. Will Smith, that like button. You already know. But now let's dive into our next story of the day. We all know Dave Portnoy. How many of you have ever watched his pizza reviews? One bite. You all know the rules. 30 bites later. 6.7. Classic. But anyways, Dave Portnoy regrets selling his Bitcoin and wishes Barstool invested $10 million in the King crypto. That's right. Barstool Sports creator and owner of Davey Day Trader Global, Dave Portnoy, Mr. Paper Hands himself, admitted he made a serious mistake by selling his Bitcoin in a video he posted on X on Friday. As he watched Bitcoin climb above 52,000, he stressed repeatedly, "Damn it, I f***ed myself with Bitcoin." Emphasizing, "I'll never get over what I've done with Bitcoin. Just a total debacle. Barstool should have owned Bitcoin. The second I got Barstool back, I should have bought like 10 million of Bitcoin. I'm mad at myself about Bitcoin. I should be up like 75% in Bitcoin. I should be up $750,000 in Bitcoin." And even Sailor wrote here, "Hey, Portnoy, everybody knows the rules. Number one, you buy Bitcoin, and number two, you don't sell your Bitcoin." It's so freaking easy, the rules, that some people, it's just impossible for them to follow it. It's ironic, but real at the same time. Barstool Sports, the digital media company owned by Portnoy, was sold to Penn Entertainment in February last year. I believe that was a multi-$100 million deal, by the way. However, in August, Portnoy announced that Penn ended its relationship with Barstool and have divested ownership of the company back to him. Portnoy's Bitcoin sparked numerous comments, with many encouraging him to buy now, as they believe Bitcoin has further room to grow. MicroStrategy's pro-Bitcoin chairman, Mr. Saylor, chimed in on Portnoy's Bitcoin lament, responding with the message, "Everybody gets Bitcoin at the price they deserve." And he also echoed Portnoy's signature, "Everybody knows the rules" phrase from his Barstool pizza reviews with his Bitcoin twist. Everyone knows the rules. As I mentioned, number one, you just buy the Bitcoin, and number two, you never sell. And he followed up with an encouraging message, "It is never too late to buy Bitcoin, my friend." And clarifying his Bitcoin sale, Portnoy responded to Saylor, "For the record, I didn't mean to sell it." "Sure, buddy. I didn't want to lose it when FTX collapsed, so I was testing to make sure my exchange was liquid and forgot to switch it back." Whatever you tell yourself at night to sleep, Mr. Portnoy. Portnoy entered the crypto scene in August of 2020 when he sat down with the founders of the Gemini Exchange. It seemed like yesterday. You guys remember that video? The Winklevoss twins visited Dave and they talked about it, who walked him through buying his first Bitcoin. So the Barstool's founder later sold his Bitcoin, but re-entered the market in February of 2022, acquiring 29 Bitcoin for roughly $1 million. The crypto exchange FTX then collapsed in November of 2022. So there you have it. Mr. Paper Hands himself, Dave Portnoy. You can learn a lesson from that. Just hodl your Bitcoin and don't sell, and you'll have no regret. Buy and hodl the Bitcoin, but trade the alts. Doug says, "Tired of all the other crypto YouTubers and drama. CNA is the main source now. Let's go. That's why I give memberships only on here. Let's get JV 1,000,000 subs. Share with friends and get them to sub." Greatest super comment I've ever seen in my life. Massive shout out to Doug. Greatly appreciate that, and I'm very humbled. Thank you, family. Appreciate it. Wow. Everyone buys Bitcoin at the price they deserve. Facts, Miss BC. How many of you guys agree with that sentiment? Thank you. Unmatrix sent you 20. Give me 40. Not the AI scams. They're going crazy right now. You guys are awesome. Pump it up.
Short squeeze, more please, yeah, it's going to pump. They drop FUD, but it's still not slowing it up.
That's right. Ain't no amount of FUD gonna slow this up. They can't put tracking devices in gold. The purity is 99. Well, sometimes it's fake gold, and they put the gold on top of the what is it? What's the metal? Gold tungsten or something like that. I've read stories over the years where the United States received gold, like the country of the United States, like from China, and it was tungsten. That's the gold. So it was just gold plated, and then there was some other inferior metal, which is just as heavy as gold on the inside. So don't tell me they can't put a tracking device in there if, you know, they have the ability to put fake gold in the gold bars. But I see what you're saying. If you test it and it's pure, then it's less likely to have that. Do you know the size of microchips for tracking nowadays? They're almost microscopic. If not, maybe they are microscopic. It's like tiny, tiny. Back in the day, they used to be the size of a grain of rice. Now they're like microscopic. So you can probably put these tracking devices in anything nowadays, right? It was Australia. Good to know, David. There are different ways to track items. Yes, in the deep north in Canada, lots of wood, lead sometimes. Who knows? At least with Bitcoin, you know you got Bitcoin as long as it says BTC and not BCH or BSV. Sounds like Bitcoin, fake Bitcoin. Tungsten. I wore it on my left-hand finger. There you go. Channel has been solid for years. Great source of info. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. If you buy, and thank you, Marco, for subbing. If you buy American Gold Eagles or Buffaloes, they don't have any chips in. Good to note. I didn't hear coins having chips in them, but gold bars in particular. Nanobots, there you go. You can't see them, so you probably wouldn't know. I remember watching your show when the Greed and Fear Index was at 12. Oh my God. 12. Imagine that tomfoolery with the gold. I am shocked. That tomfoolery, dog. There is no second best. Tell him, man. You already know. Yeah, dump it up.
Can't wait till the feds start showing us love. The full flag on the chart got me blowing a nut.
Woo-hoo. That was pretty classic bars right there. Smash the like, guys. Appreciate it. So what's your opinion? The left adjusted the top, early blow off top, or right adjusted super cycle? I am humble enough to understand I don't know what's going to happen, but if I was to guess, I'd stick with the cycle we have seen for the previous 3 halvings, where the year following the halving, we hit the cycle peak. So that would mean in 2025, we hit the all-time high for the cycle. But I'm still optimistic we can enter price discovery and even 6 figures this year in 2024. Let me know your thoughts. Tungsten has the highest melting point. Good to note. Canadian maple are always good. Right on. Are a lot of you guys have gold coins? Collecting them? Let me know. Kathy Wood's bathwater, right? Exactly, Melda. Exactly. He probably thinks you're talking about Kathy Wood and saying ICP. Exactly. I see ICP naturally, I think, in saying Clown Posse. That'd be like me seeing WTC and thinking it's some crypto when I'd be like, that's the Wu-Tang Clan. Just saying. Or World Trade Center, WTC. What do you think about XAI token? Never heard of it. Sold 20,000 worth of the Gold Eagles last week. Suck it, Schiff. Shopkeep who bought them said he didn't think they had tracemers. What are tracemers or tracemers? But good to note. I would imagine you bought some biddies. I have gold and silver. Good to note, Todd. Do you collect the coins or the bars? Curious. Or is it derivatives where you just get a paper note and someone has it in a vault somewhere? 100,000. So crazy to seal or to see. Yes, I sold most of my gold, but I still have a few ounces of the Gold Eagles. No, not the bathwater. Just a couple of gold, mostly Bitcoin. Nice. I got gold nuggets found on my own in Georgia. Nice. 24 karat pure. Both gold and Bitcoin. All of my outside the system basis covered. Nice. Gold rings, JB. Beautiful. I think we get super cycle. This is the first cycle with diminishing supply. Good point. A Bitcoin on the exchanges plus the ETF demand. Good point, Matthew. Traded in my gold and got more biddies. Trackers. There you go, Raven. Thank you. I copper Bitcoin from a client. I got a copper Bitcoin for modeling a custom Bitcoin for him. Interesting. I've even pulled out my gold fillings. What do you think about Compound? I was very bullish on it previous cycle. I haven't even followed it or been keeping up with it, so I know nothing about it this cycle, but I was bullish on it last cycle. Sold solid gold toilets will be available at Home Depot after a few more cycles. Yo, JV, Jad 12 pamps down to 1. What do you think about the Flow coin? I'd never heard of that one, Zachary. I have a Bolton gold from Russia. Nice. Just keep stacking them sats. Sold my silver and bought more Bitcoin months ago. Cheers to that, Mr. Bone Daddy. The boomers are buying like crazy.
Do your thing let me do my thing. You know we out as long as a piece of string.
Bitcoin is copper and crypto. Okay. I'm all in, so we can do it. Let's go. I suspect a common man, woman FOMO will begin around 90 to 100,000. I agree with that sentiment. The FOMO kicks in, to me, when we enter price discovery. So around 70,000, you're going to see unprecedented FOMO. We hit 100,000. That's when you'll see like the Peter Schiffs of the world start capitulating and just be like, better late than never. But anyways, family, now let's discuss these ETF inflows, which are killing the game right now at unprecedented levels, 2.2 billion worth of net inflows in a week. And this thing may pick up. They're saying it's a like a snowball effect going on right now. Bitcoin ETFs had another strong week with net inflows surpassing 2.2 billion from February 12th to the 16th. According to Eric Balchunas, the combined volume was higher than the inflows received by any other amongst the 3,400 ETFs available in the US. BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust received the majority of the capital, amassing positive flows of 1.6 billion over the week. According to BitMEX research, iBit alone has taken in 5.2 billion year to date, which is 50% of BlackRock's total net ETF inflows out of 417 ETFs. Winning. And amongst the spot Bitcoin ETF holdings, billions of dollars in assets from Fidelity's Wise Origin Bitcoin Fund saw significant inflows, attracting 648 million over the last 5 trading sessions. Also, ARC21 shares Bitcoin ETF garnered 405 million during that same period, while the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF pulled 232 million in capital inflows. Outflows from the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust are hampering the combined performance of the other newly approved spot Bitcoin ETFs. The fund saw 624 million in withdrawals from February 12th to the 16th as investors continue to sell since its conversion from an over-the-counter product to a spot ETF on January 10th. Grayscale's fund has seen over 7 billion in capital outflows. And the good news, the outflows are drying up and now the inflows are clearly outpacing those outflows, hence why we're pumping it up. And here you can see the ETFs flowing from the 12th to the 16th as per Bloomberg Intelligence analyst Eric Balchunas. The ETFs are believed to be one of the factors driving the Bitcoin's recent price gains. Bitcoin is up 91% in the past 4 months. So congratulations to all my Bitcoin hodlers, supported by market sentiment surrounding the approval of the Bitcoin ETFs by the US SEC, which forced their hand when they had that Grayscale lawsuit and lost. That's why Gary said they had to approve the ETF. And during the week, Bitcoin gained nearly 7% and is trading at this time at roughly 52,000. Major banks and financial institutions also taking notice of the new ETFs in a February 14th letter on Valentine's Day. A trade group coalition representing Wall Street's biggest firms requested the SEC to consider modifications to their Staff Accounting Bulletin 121, providing guidance around accounting for crypto asset custody obligations. The revision would allow the banks to act as custodians of the Bitcoin funds. So the banks are like, yo, why are we letting custodians such as Coinbase hold all the Bitcoin? Not your keys, not your coins. We don't want to be left behind. So it seems they're becoming a little smarter by the day. And welcome central bankers and welcome Wall Street to the King Crypto. And it feels good to I should say the word I'm looking for, but getting involved, front running all of you mofos. It's a great thing. Song name, is it a remix? Yeah, the song I keep pumping is the brand new Little Bubble Pump It Up mix he just released 2 days ago. You'll find it on his YouTube channel. I also shared it on my X. It's pretty lit. It's the Joe Budden's remix, so I'm a fan. They do say crypto is wife-changing money. You already know. I know from firsthand experience. Sell everything you don't need to buy more Bitcoin. You can't short it, you dork. Classic. Shout out Lil Bubble. Man, these ETFs are vacuum cleaners for real. How tall am I? I'm 7'3". That's how tall I feel with Bitcoin, but I'm actually 5'6". Mortgage the thing you love and buy more Bitcoin. My wife? That's actually a classic Mike Saylor quote right there. Speaking of Sailor.
Take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin. Then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin.
Exactly. Everyone's big mistake right there. Candace don't think so. Are you referring to Candace Owens? Why did BlackRock mention Craig Wright in the ETF? From KJam, good day. Bitcoin is on the same time. Could you speak with an Australian accent to save me time? Man, my Australian accent is not going to be good, unfortunately. Good day, mate. Like, what do I say?
And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it,
Bitcoin only. There is no second best. Oh, Candace Stevens. Can't get rugged if you self-custody. Preach. Do you own any crypto? Ask Rogan. No. I wish I did. I'm strictly fiat because it's monopoly money, and I love monopoly. There is no second best for real, for real.
go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with
Yeah, man. K-Jam. You already know.
it. And if you've got a business that you love,
Darth Melda. That's hot. Ooh. Got some fans. Legend of Melda. JB, does that mean you've got 7 inches of FOMO height? It's more like 1.5 foot of FOMO height. Shrimp on the Bobby. Shrimp on the Bobby. JV, we love you anyway. Thank you, G Dean. Yes, appreciate that. Why did Grayscale dump? Well, part of the reason they dumped is the FTX estate was $1 billion of that dumpage. So I think a lot of people were dumping due to the excessive annual fees of 1.5%, whereas all the others are like 0.25% or less. And also they were probably moving, funds around and such like that. But we all know that the outflows have slowed down, so it's a good sign. They can't just continuously dump at that level. Sailor haunts my dreams at night. JV to blame. Thank you, Silas. I love to hear that. Legend of Zelda. I have room full of Videra. Nice. JV, Aussie accents say, just stack and chill if you don't want to eat the bugs. Man, just stack and chill if you don't want to eat the bugs. Terrible accent. Told you I'm not good at it. 10 Bitcoin should sell for 2 alts or just hodl Bitcoin. Should I sell for 2 alts? No, don't sell your Bitcoin. Hodl Bitcoin. My bankers gave me a dirty look because they realized they're like dinosaurs and they didn't have them, pulling tens of thousands of dollars out of their bank. Good for you. I want to buy more Bitcoin because I want to hope it drops a little. CAS, doing my little bit. Right on DNA. JV, I had no idea you were a brother from the waist down. Yeah, I'm like a midget, apparently. Eat the bugs, fam. Crypto Alerts is second best. How dare you, Stephen?
because your family works for the business that's in your family for 37 years and you can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on earth, which is Bitcoin. Which one?
Shout out Akaz. Can you congratulate my Russian girl for becoming a whole coiner? Absolutely. Now, pronouncing the name is a different story. Lubov, massive congratulations on becoming a whole coiner. Cheers. Want to buy more? Bitcoin. Go to the bank and try to pull out 40,000 and put it in crypto, and you'll see what I mean. They will slow track you as slow as they possibly can. I had to bypass. I already know. I've tried to pull out as little as 5 or 10,000 from a bank, and it's like, oh, we don't keep that kind of funds here. You got to call us and make an appointment. Give us at least a day's notice. I'm like, so the bank doesn't hold any money. Fractional reserve yeah. Dogecoin number 1. Oh, hell no. The Ali Rizza. Hey, JV. What's up from Saudi, brother? Waiting for that Omega candle. Do you see 60 next week in the meantime? Be honest, 60,000 next week? No. Be more realistic. I can see 55,000 this week. However, I know 60,000 is possible, and I hope you're right. All it would take is like a massive buy from a sovereign wealth fund or a nation state. A lot of things can trigger 60,000. So you're a tripod, JV. Never been called a tripod. Or is that how high the tripods are? Are you making fun of me, man? Speaking of tripods, can you see this little oh man, it's kind of nasty hair, dust here, but a little tripod here. You mentioned a tripod. This is like a 1-foot tripod for the B cam. So just wanted to show you guys. Anyways, I'm going to go to my B cam, fix that. There we go. Good. All right. Needed to hear that, JV. Cheers. Good day, mate. Made another shrimp on the bobby. When you realize the Bitcoin goes to zero, we need to get the Saudis to invest in Bitcoin. You're a telescope. Precisely what I am. Pump the likes. Shout out to Doug, another one. If we're all watching this live right now, then we have some friends and family in crypto as well. Share JV's live stream to them in your contacts. Do your part and get him to 1 million subs. Doug, appreciate you, brother. Couldn't agree more. And appreciate all that level of support. That's as simple as it is. If everyone actually did share the podcast, we would get to 1 million subs, like light speed, and we'd help pump the Bitcoin price to where it belongs. The true value of Bitcoin right now is closer to 400, 500,000, not this 51,000 BS, if you know what I mean. Add a zero to the end of that price action. That's the true intrinsic value of Bitcoin, fair value right now in JV's opinion. What do you guys think? I think 51,000 is way too low for comparing it to fiat Ponzi scheme tulip bulb trash, if you know what I mean. So add a zero already. Let's go. Sponsored by, oh, hell no. Craig Wright holds copyright to Bitcoin in the USA. That's sad. Being a tripod has been a huge burden on me. The money you put into the bank becomes nothing more than an IOU from the bank, precisely that fractional reserve banking Ponzi scheme. How dare anyone who questions JV's freedom of speech? Tell them, John. I hope they dump more Bitcoin on the market so I can buy more. I have seen male elephants who are pentapods. Trolls are great. I couldn't laugh harder if I tried. Bless their hearts. Cheers to that, Jennifer. Bitcoin, JV, the true Bitcoin, Jesus. There you go. What up, JV? What up, Chief Santana? Just got out of, what does that say? Paul just got out of, out of something. Bitcoin is on sale. Always, man. Seize the moment. Pump it up. But anyways, fam, we still got a lot to cover. Let's dive into our next story of the day. We discussed the latest with the unprecedented ETF inflows. Now let's discuss a little bit of turbulence before we hit that 150,000 target. And then we'll get deeper into Mark Yusko's 150,000 target along with his timeline. So the recent surge of the Bitcoin price, pushing Bitcoin past 52,000, has ignited a wave of optimism within the crypto community. Visions of a six-figure future dance in investors' heads, with some analysts even proposing 160 or 150 target. Now, you also know we're going to be dancing here in Puerto Rico at our fiesta when Bitcoin smashes 100,000. How many of you are going to be joining the fiesta? Holla. Now, prominent analyst Mikhail Van de Poppe, who we share commonly here on the show, predicts a potential 40% price correction before Bitcoin embarks on its ascent to glory. Pope's prediction hinges on the notion of market sentiment overshooting reality. He argues that emotions often drive the prices to unsustainable heights, creating ripe conditions for a pullback. Quoting him here, sentiment is always a wrong indicator, he emphasizes, highlighting the tendency of overly optimistic projections to fuel price bubbles. He points to the recent rally and subsequent dip as prime example, reminding investors that emotions always exceed reality and sentiment overshoots the price action by a mile. Quoting the analyst here, Bitcoin rallies to 50,000 and higher. Are we going to see 100,000 in the next few months? Great question. What are your thoughts? The ultimate question is what the price of Bitcoin is going to do in the upcoming period. The inflow has netted more than 2 billion in a week. Yeah, that's right. What can we expect with Bitcoin? And let's open this up and continue. The price of Bitcoin has been accelerating. Prior to the ETF, a rally from 25 to 49,000 already taken place. Since then, the sentiment quickly shifted towards an ultra negative sentiment, indicating the markets had to go down to 30,000 due to the outflow of GBTC. That's right. We hit 49,000 after the approval of the ETF, and then we were down to 38,000 within days later. Hence why we've been telling you guys expect more continued volatility. However, markets reversed from 39, indicating the massive interest in the Bitcoin ETFs, resulting into a peak at 53,000 and a constant inflow. So what does that mean to us? Number one, according to the analyst, sentiment is always a wrong indicator. This remains to be valid. Here are a few examples of the recent sentiment. Prior to the ETF approval, rumors of a potential new all-time high of Bitcoin to be reached were stronger and stronger. Ultimately, the potential approval itself was an indication of potential strength of the markets, resulting into the rally from 25 to 49,000. However, the strength of the markets was also reflected in the actual price action, but sentiment always overshoots as emotions are reflected into scenarios. Hence why emotions have a bad impact on trading investing. The second example was the actual correction from 49 to 39,000, resulting into a negative sentiment. Why? Outflow on GBTC had been taking place, and as a result, the expectations were that if this outflow was going to have a continuous negative impact on the markets, resulting into a wider correction, and again, an example of sentiment over exceeding the reality. The third example is the current momentum. The markets are seeing a tremendous amount of interest into the markets based on the inflow of the spot ETFs. However, does that mean that the interest is going to remain continuous? What if the interest is slowing down, or the outflow from grayscale increases or other macroeconomic impacts are going to have an impact? Emotions always exceed reality, and sentiment overshoots the price action by a mile. That's why people start to lose money. Markets are pricing in events at all time, whether you like it or not. And number two, what should your game plan if you want to invest into Bitcoin? Here's what he has to share. A relatively strict and simple game plan. You should divide two things when it comes to game plans. Number one, trading or swing trading purposes. Ultimately, a trade is defined on the horizon that you're looking to hold the asset. And if your horizon is relatively short, then it might not be plus EV to buy an asset that appreciated 35% in 10 days. Same goes for swing traded purposes. Why is that? Well, let's assume that the risks of a correction have increased. If you think that a correction of 45,000 has a chance of 30 to 35% and a potential upwards push to 60,000 has a 60% chance, it might be EV to actually take the trade. Now, if markets correct from 55 to 46 and are seeing a 20% correction, those odds of an upward move and downwards continuous correction are flipping more in favor of a long. That's the methodology you should be using when it comes to trading. Investing purposes, that basically comes down to your risk appetite. And again, horizon. If you want to start investing, I would suggest to wait for a standard 20 to 40% correction on Bitcoin to happen. You'll tackle a few important points, buying the correction and being able to control those emotions. However, if your horizon is 2 to 3 years from now and you suspect to see Bitcoin at 150,000 plus, preach, in that window, then there is no big issue starting to scale at these current prices. I agree with that sentiment 1000%. Once again, there is more confirmation to enter the markets in a correction than in an upward push. And number three, what are the expectations? Honestly, I think the moment that the macroeconomic events are slightly negative, it would suggest that we're going to see a correction. This can also be the case where the inflow is decreasing or any other factor. Remind yourself that there are more parties involved in the market outside of the ETF who would be selling, leading to a switch in sentiment and therefore a substantial correction. Those corrections with the current sentiment are going to be swift. I don't know exactly from where this will happen, but given the data, it's reasonable to suspect that the markets are peaking between 53 and 58,000 and are getting a 20 to 40% correction from there. Whether it's going to be in the coming weeks or whether it's in March, I don't know. What I do know is that the markets are moving organic and do have those corrections despite the overall sentiment. So there you have it. I know that was a mouthful, but shout out Macau Band-Aid Pop. Let me know if you can foresee a 40% correction anytime soon. And what are your thoughts with some of that investment advice? For those of you with long-term horizon, it's irrelevant if you're buying at 50,000, 55,000, or whatever the current price is. You're in this for the long haul. But if you're looking to do some short-term trading, then naturally it would always make sense to buy the dip. Just note, you may be waiting for the dip, and that dip may never come, and you may end up paying more for your biddies. So that's the risk. Let me know your thoughts. Explain, please, Zug Zug. Never heard of Zug Zug. Rhymes with bug bug. Don't know nothing about it. Investors DCA for 10 years or more. Separate short-term trading funds for gambling, says 411. Word. Free Mandela. There you go. Add a zero to the comma. Preach. My bars and these zeros and commas. Tell them K-Jam. Let's go. Tripod from the waist below. You're still making fun of the height. Good Lord. Follow Copa versus right. I am following that. Zug Zug. Oh, Zug Zug is someone in the chat. Now I see. Yes, we've been following that here on the show. Do the inflows into the ETFs mean that people are buying those ETFs, or are the funds like ARKs and BlackRock starting to own the market? That's a good question, Riza. Bobby Digi, what are your thoughts about Shido? I've never heard of Shido either. Checking in for my daughter's volleyball tournament in Vegas. Shout out to the happy hodler. What did I miss? Will I listen to the replay later? Let's go. Of course you will need to listen to the replay later. There's no shortcuts in life. You know what I mean? And much respect and love for your daughter's volleyball game. Hopefully she wins. Will it all matter in 50 years when Bitcoin is $10 trillion per coin? Exactly my sentiment, Craig. No, it won't. Bitcoin will set you free. Tell them. Institutions are buying towards a 1% allocation. No slack in demand for the near term. Casey says, Rex and I are out on our walk right now watching the show. Chat is lit yet again. You already know. Shout out to Casey. My dog's jealous in the background. He's downstairs, probably on the couch with my daughter. I don't pump and dump. I don't shill my bag. There you go. Now that I'm going to be a wealthy man, does my name change to Sir Matrix? That's right. Just like Sir Mix-a-Lot. I like big pumps and I cannot lie. These Ishcoiners cannot deny. Hey, JV, calling you a tripod is saying you got a big hog. Oh, it's not a hype joke. It's, oh, okay. I got a big hog. I'm like Kenny from South Park. Damn it, they killed Kenny. I like big bitties. Yeah, who doesn't like big bitties, if you know what I mean, broskies. Here are the e-tests of the vacuum cleaners. Bitcoin goes up and up like coal into the diamond hands. That's right. Read the BlackRock ETF. It does not mention BTC. They still have 100,000 plus Bitcoin, or I guess I should say Coinbase is holding it. Coinbase, we covered that yesterday. They now have over 1 million Bitcoin, right? Thanks to BlackRock. Doug, appreciate you gifting a membership of the channel. Congratulations, Flip Those Cryptos. You've been hooked up. You and your daughter have a gift together. Cheers to that, KJM. Very blessed. Stop giving trolls attention, right? Congrats on the membership. Let's go. But anyways, family, it's getting to that time. Pump the likes, pump the stream. Now let's dive into our featured story of the day and discuss 150,000 per Bitcoin incoming. Send it. Predicts hedge fund veteran Mark Yusko. I'm going to be sharing his exact timeline. And welcome everyone just joining the stream. We greatly appreciate y'all's support. CEO and founder of Morgan Creek Capital, Mark Yusko, says the Bitcoin bull market just getting started. In a new interview with the Wolf of Wall Street's YouTube channel, Scott Melker, Yusko says the Bitcoin could hit the six-figure price by mid-next year, a figure he notes will double Bitcoin's fair value. And according to Yusko, the fair value of Bitcoin is estimated based on its network effects or the number of the Bitcoin users and miners. And I want to stop there. According to Max Kaiser, the fair value of Bitcoin right now is over $400,000 per coin. And I agree with that, because where else are you going to find unconfiscatable wealth that is incorruptible, immutable, and borderless? Good luck with that one. And with a finite limited supply, hence why it's perfect money. But quoting Yusko, it is possible the Bitcoin's fair value goes to 75 or 80,000 this bull cycle. But let's just say 75,000. So then the investors have been buying all this time up to the fair value. Now we have new people, we have traders, we have speculators. Because the hedgers are selling, the gamblers haven't even shown up yet. Once they show up and once the leverage starts, then we go right through the fair value, right past 75,000. And in history, we go to 2.3x. I don't think we'll go 2.3 times this cycle, because I think there's less leverage. I think we go 2x fair value, and that's $150,000. So sometime between Thanksgiving this year and June of the following year, that's when we'll see new all-time highs. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the veteran investor. The hedge fund vet, however, says the Bitcoin and other crypto assets are likely to undergo a severe correction between now and the new all-time high for BTC. Quoting him again, we haven't even gotten to crypto fall. That doesn't happen till June. The halving is still yet to come, and we have one more, let's call it SpaceX-like explosion that was planned after the Ides of March before tax season this year. There is one more selling wave that's a coming. Let me know if you agree or disagree with his prediction, and to watch the video he did with the Wolf of Wall Street, check the show notes below the video in the description. Now, let's discuss realistically where Bitcoin is likely heading this year in 2024. Personally, I see price discovery, no brainer, easy peasy. Price discovery means new all-time high. The current all-time high we tapped back on November 10th of 2021, which was roughly $69,000, which was the year after the halving of 2020. And rewinding back in time, the first Bitcoin halving to ever occur was 2012, and it was in 2013. Massive parabolic rise, thousands of percentage, like crazy, right? Now, in 2016, we had the second halving, and again, it was the year preceding the halving. In 2017, we peaked out, hit the all-time high around Christmas time. I remember because I rented a house, or a mansion, I should say, for my family at this time, and it was pretty lit. And I remember, oh my God, Bitcoin is at $20,000. This is crazy, because when I got involved in 2017, Bitcoin was only $1,500. So it was mind-boggling to me to see Bitcoin run up like that. Then, lo and behold, in 2020, like clockwork, next halving, and by the time of 2021, we hit the all-time high. And I recall going from less than 20,000 to 69,000 within 60 days. So I know how fast Bitcoin can rip when that time comes and the FOMO kicks in. What's different this particular cycle that we didn't have previous cycles? Number one, you didn't have no ETFs. The ETFs just got approved and started trading January 11th, roughly a month ago. And right now, the demand for the ETFs is eating up 12.5x the daily issuance being rewarded to the miners. Soon, in 58 days, we get a Bitcoin halving. The miner rewards get chopped in half. That's going to be 25x the demand just from the top 2 asset managers with ETFs. That doesn't include the other 9 ETFs. That doesn't include the Hong Kong ETF, which is going to be launched soon. That doesn't include the ETF, which we're going to see out of El Salvador, or any other ETFs from any of the other nations. You know what I mean? That doesn't include sovereign wealth fund adoption. We already have talk of potentially Qatar converting a $500 billion sovereign wealth fund into the King crypto. What do you think that would do to the Bitcoin price? What about Saudi Arabia, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, one of the wealthiest nations, right? They have the largest oil company in the world, recently partnered with the largest bank of Japan, SBI Holdings. They're getting into digital assets. This doesn't add into the picture the fact that we could have more nation state adoption, very probable this year. It could be coming from countries like Colombia, which has a population of 40 million. Did you know the president of Colombia is already a Bitcoiner? I know this for fact because I saw the receipts. I've shared the receipts here on the show. Samson Mao of Jan 3 orange pilled the president of Colombia and gifted him 100,000 Satoshis on a hardware wallet. So the president is a Bitcoiner, right? Does that include, what about Senator Indira Kempis in Mexico? What if Mexico were to convert and turn Bitcoin into a legal tender? Suriname, another nation just north of Brazil, small nation, 750,000 population. They're looking to take 1% of their central bank reserves and put it into Bitcoin. How many other countries, nation states, are going to follow in the footprints of Bukele and El Salvador? All this has to be taken into consideration. One more big factor, supply shock. Very limited number of Bitcoin on the exchanges. The massive institutions that need this Bitcoin for their ETF, they're going to run dry. And when they run dry, it means 80% of the Bitcoin holdings are in the hands of the long-term hodlers who are unwilling to sell, people like you and I, which means the price is going to have to go up in order for them to acquire more Bitcoin. This is going to create a supply shock and a demand shock in the same year in 2024. Shout out Mr. Fix. I appreciate you subbing to the #1 Daily Bitcoin Pod. There's just so many bullish catalysts, and there's other things that I'm probably missing. This is just off the top of the head, freestyle style, if you know what I mean. So I couldn't be more bullish right now. In my humble belief, 6 figures this year, a very strong possibility. But I am still a firm believer that it's going to be the year preceding the halving in 2025 in this case, where we hit the cycle peak. I can see a multiple 6-figure Bitcoin price. JV's prediction is anywhere between $222,000 and $500,000 per Bitcoin, with 222,000 being my more bearish scenario and 500 being the more bullish scenario. But let me know your thoughts, family, in the live chat, and I'll read these comments out loud. Alternatives is your decision, not mine. Simply do your own research on SegWit. Vacuum cleaners have coal hand into diamond hands. Bitcoin is like another Richie song. My love, just thinking about my biddies makes me lose my mind. I like it. Bitcoin spot ETF sales will increase big time in a few months. You won't acquire my Bitcoin. Love to hear that. Facts. What it do? Should call Sailor and warn him of the dangers of Bitcoin. Zug zug. Let's go. Shout out Ann Review. Spycraft says, JB, nothing you say has been added to the experts' price projections. Precisely. This is exactly my point. Everyone uses digital currency already, and as long as someone has a bank account or a card from anywhere, even if the bank, it is all digital currency, and it is nothing new, says Royalty Demon. Hey, can you ask Michael Saylor which crypto is the second best? I got you, big dog.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
You already know. Bitcoin at 350 this cycle. You're speaking my language, Palm Beach Chris. Send it. 100,000 before the halving. Watch and see it happen into reality. Y'all have a passion. Bitcoin. There you go. If you think the ETF was a good thing, then you have not done your research, says Zug Zug. Zug Zug, if you don't like it or believe in Bitcoin, why are you spreading FUD? Get the frick out of here if you don't like Bitcoin. This isn't the place for you, says Jennifer. Not May will sell. We all know what is going to happen, says Hey Z. 51, not 150. 51. You won't buy Gensler's Bitcoin either, says Silas. And JB, can you pump it up? I absolutely can pump it up, actually. I'm glad you mentioned pump it up, because speaking of pump it up.
Do your thing, let me do my thing. Pump it up.
6 months, fam. We go into a partay. You already know. Maybe sooner than 6 months. What do you guys think?
Pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up, you got to pump it up.
The Pump It Up song dedicated to Zug Zug. Like Must said, get the frick out. Amen. Shout out, Carrie. What it do? Shakan, what up, what up, what up? Zug Zug knows better than Sailor. And all the largest financial companies in the world, including Fink. Apparently so, Darth Melda. Apparently so. 235, I see a blow off top. SegWit is primarily safe against the old nodes will accept without witness issue. Because someone has given them a SegWit address is by definition running SegWit compatible software that is required, says Emilio. A witness, thank you, thank you. Amazing how many people didn't want to even learn about Bitcoin. They're lost. Good point, Thomas. Any opinion on ERC 404? We discussed that, I think it was 2 episodes ago. And it's not in front of me now, so I don't want to try to speak intelligent about it. But we did cover it. You got to do better, Zug. You're a bug. I love Bitcoin. I don't get in the altcoin live chats and spread FUD with that. I know that'd be like, as a Bitcoiner, like me in some dedicated Dogecoin channel right now, like spreading FUD, like Dogecoin sucks. Elon's a fake. He's a scammer. And though I believe all that, I'm not going to waste my valuable, most precious asset, which is my time, on trying to convince people who love Dogecoin that it's bad, right? If you believe in Elon, so be it. Believe in him. It's free will. I respect free will. So go do your thing. You know what I mean? Check out PAL, P-A-A-L. Pump it up to 40 watts, 15-inch subs. Let's go.
Don't you know? Pump it up, you got to pump it up.
68 at the halving. I'll take it, Hazy. More bits for the rest of us. Cheers to that. Yes, I watched UFC last night, and it was like the main event didn't kick off till 2 a.m., and I'm disappointed to say I woke up after the fight ended. Ilian, the dude from Spain, knocked out Volkanovski with a brilliant combination right on the... But I saw the fights leading up to it, and it was an epic fight night. I really enjoyed it. But it was so late by the time it comes off. Shout out Doug, gifted another membership to the Ali Riza. So I'm like 4 hours ahead of like the West Coast. So by the time it kicks off here in Puerto Rico, it's just so late. Always, like the UFC cards, I gotta like focus on staying up. It's hard. Too much inflation. Yeah, man. I saw Henry Cejudo get mauled by what's his name? The dude out of Long Island, the Irish, or I don't know how to say his name, the Willie guy. But that dude is relentless. I did see the Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa fight. That was actually a good fight. They gave it to the decision to Whittaker. So I did watch the fights, but yeah, it sucked that during the main event I fell asleep. And then I saw the replay after. I'm also Rumble ready. Nice. Just paying it forward. I appreciate that, Doug. I was an anti-Bitcoin until I needed more assets safely. Please do your own research on Bitcoin, how BlackRock doesn't mention the ETFs. Doug, you're helping us, right? Instead of focusing on much superior investments that you have not shared. Tesla stock is dropping like Doge. There you go. Bitcoin is Napoleon. He is dope. Who you referring to there, Flip? But yeah, good UFC night. So I enjoyed it. Expert analysts use TA in history. They are the analysts. Bitcoin is on its own vector and going up big. That's why BlackRocks are in early. Yeah, BlackRock wants a piece of the action. They know what it's going to do. It's revolutionizing the financial world, and they want their piece of the pie, and they already got a big piece. They got as much as it took MicroStrategy 4 years to accumulate. They've done that in 1 month. By this time next year, I'm sure BlackRock will have millions of Bitcoin, and it's going to be very difficult at that point for them to acquire more. And the price of everyone that has their Bitcoin in self-custody, pump it up. We'll add a zero to today's price action, and that's not even going to be a joke. Like, for real. We'll be looking at a $500,000 Bitcoin before you know it. JV, any suggestions on DeFi? I don't know what kind of suggestions you're looking for, but I believe in decentralized finance. Honestly, I hate centralization. I hate banks and all that. So more power to the DeFi projects that are real and making a difference with real utility. One example could be Aave, a decentralized finance protocol where you can borrow against your crypto, such as your Bitcoin. Pump it up like you can feel the pump when you really need it. USA and the UK, this started the end of the petrodollar. Forever, Laura. You pet your BlackRock. Nice. Hey, JV, is that white box with the circle? No, it's actually not a speaker. It looks like it's something interesting, but it's just a AC unit. It's a fan/AC that looks different. So if I get hot in here, it just got, I mean, it makes noise, so I typically don't turn it on. But I don't know if you could even hear that pick up in the mic, but it was the portable air unit with the lowest decimal of sound because I didn't want it to pick up on the mic. But I still don't use it as often as I should because I have a fan here and I keep the ACs cranking in the living room right outside the room. But this particular office, for whatever reason, is the only room in the house without an AC unit that's built in. So I have to use the fan and I have to use the portable units to get cold. Hence why I'm always wearing a jersey. I'm always sweating. So that's why. If you don't know, now you know. Cheers, Rich Albert. JV, Victory is my biggest fan. Love that, man. There are those of us who have been into Bitcoin for years. The petrodollar is in trouble. That's good for the Bitcoin holders. Preach. Air conditioner. Exactly. Exactly what it is. You got that right. What happened when BlackRock has 21 million Bitcoin? They'll never have if 80% of the supply is in the hands of people like Michael Saylor, Max Kaiser, Satoshi, and JV, what makes you think they could ever get 21 million Bitcoin? So you're missing the point if you think BlackRock, oh, they have all the money in the world, they can just buy all the Bitcoin. Don't work that way. Thank God they came into Bitcoin 15 years late. F them. They came into Bitcoin 15 years late. You got to front run them. So now they're going to pump your bags. Now they're spending their dollars and they're telling all of their advisors to buy Bitcoin to pump it for us. They work for us. You understand? Free AC promotion, right? SBF will be freed before Assange. Yeah, he'll probably be pardoned for donating so much money to corruption. Michael Saylor suggests to never sell Bitcoin since it's a capital gain. He said to DeFi your Bitcoin is non-taxable. He is a genius. He sure is a genius. Always borrow against your Bitcoin prior to the halving. Diamond hands, not monopoly hands. That's right. Oh, actually, you are correct, Jennifer. He is slanging mackerel, the new currency of the prison. Thank Gary for BlackRock being late. BlackRock could never approximately a third of supply. It's inevitably lost. Exactly that too. Let's not forget 5-6 million Bitcoin gone, lost forever. They can never have. Also, they're never going to get, theoretically, they're never going to get any of the long-term hodlers' Bitcoin unless they're stupid enough to give it to them and sell it for the fiat. They can just print unlimited amounts of money. Do you understand the deception here? Why would you sell your Bitcoin even for 100,000 or 200 or 500,000? Make no sense. They just print more money and that fiat becomes useless. So why would you sell it? The only thing I could think of why someone would sell is so they can buy back if they think it's going to crash. But what if it doesn't work that way? And what if it continues to pump because of the massive demand and limited supply? supply. Then you wouldn't want the fiat equivalent they can print unlimited amounts of for the real asset, which has a finite limited supply that can never be recreated in the history of humankind. Does that make SBF the Mac Daddy? I guess so. We call him a Mac Daddy if you like. 7 transactions per second cannot work, says Zug Zug. Well, apparently it's working. No. The larger world will make up Bitcoin investments when the big boys are positioned correctly. That time is almost here. They all flip mega bullish because of the law surrounding the ETFs. Let's not forget, ETF BTC is 100% confiscatable. Not your keys, not your coins. They can say, in the name of national security, we're going to seize all of the Bitcoin from Coinbase, in which is self-custodying the Bitcoin for BlackRock and these other asset managers. And then the U.S. government all of a sudden has millions of Bitcoin. So they can't take your self-custodied Bitcoin, but damn right they can take the Bitcoin ETF BTC. And that's a scenario Max Kaiser believes will happen because they're corrupt mofos and they want your Bitcoin. What are your thoughts? SFSBF. Why is BTV slow? What is BTV? Bitcoin TV? Actually, that's a good idea. We need to create Bitcoin TV 24/7. We need 3 more JVs. I can't work 24/7. I got to sleep. I got to eat. I got to walk my dog. I got to take care of my daughter. If we can get 3 more JV clones, we can have a BTV 24/7 Bitcoin network. I know actually Kaiser pitched that idea to Bukele and he was all in for it out of El Salvador. I do think we should have a 24/7 station dedicated to Bitcoin. Maybe we'll turn that into a reality. What do you guys think? Is that Joe Rogan in the chat? Yeah, man, I didn't expect the top podcaster in the world who was just busy with the fights last night, you know what I mean, as a commentator and host and all that stuff, would be watching the pod today. So respect to Joe Rogan. My lovely wife wanted me not to buy Bitcoin in 2019. I told her not to worry. Someday you'll be giggling. That's right. That's what you got to do. Just trust me, baby. One day you'll understand. And lo and behold, bada boom, bada bing, smart move. Imagine if she had some dork who was buying some BitConnect coin or something like that, trying to get rich and beat the system. Thank God she found you. What are your thoughts about Shido? Never heard of it. They go to pump, to price, to manage. Dro, 4 prominent people predicted Bitcoin or something like it a long time ago. Nice. Not Rogan, goof. Oh, okay. Rogan reacts. I just assumed, you got the name. I assumed you were the real Joe Rogan. My mistake. 24/7 Bitcoin, hell yeah. I react to Rogan, goof. Okay. How many times are you going to call me a goof? Melda, did you really go to the dark side? 24-hour Bit TV, let's go. Any thoughts on buying stock in cold wallet companies? Hey, the cold wallet, I believe, is a good. I don't even know the name of their company, but the company that produces the cold wallet is pretty legit. I can help clone you, JV. You just need like a DNA swab. What do we got to do? Who knows? JVs aren't already cloned underground. Topic for Rumble maybe, but I bought without my husband wanting to. He's happy now. Smart, Jennifer. Sometimes you got to make an executive decision for the family. Well done. Respect. He is solving. Goof. Doug, man. More gifted memberships. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out Shakan, Dro, La, Geraldine, Chug So Cold, and Kaizen. You've all been blessed with the MicroStrategy membership of the channel on behalf of Doug hooking you guys up. So show Doug some love. We greatly appreciate the support, family. Congrats to all the new members. JV has a clone in his basement for organ harvesting. Oh my God. I live in Puerto Rico. I don't think there's basements here. Just like in Florida, you're not going to find any basements. So stop spreading FUD, guys. There's no basements here at my house. He missed my last super chat, so I had to give 5 memberships. Wow. Well, I appreciate you, brother. My apologies if I missed a super. Good stuff. Bitcoin Trini, welcome. You the man, Doug. MSTR, congratulations. Amazing. Where's the real Gary Gans? Yeah, usually Gary's here on the stream. I'm kind of shocked. No Gary today? Gary, where are you at?
Hey, JB. Wait, should I switch my screen? Hey, JB, it's Gary.
Anyways, Rogan reacts as a troll. The mods fix it. There you go. 100,000 Puerto Rico party. Benas Joy. Cheers, family. Love your daily show. What a great gig you have, JB. From your Bitcoiner boomer buddy. I appreciate that, Rich Albert. Cheers to you. And spread the word to your boomer friends of Bitcoin. We need more boomers booming, if you know what I mean. Gary is busy printing money, more than likely. I get it. The real Rogan has Bitcoin for sure, of course. Yeah, he was orange pilled early from people like Andreas Antonopoulos. So for Joe Rogan, who gets $100 million Spotify deals, for him to not own any Bitcoin would be negligent, in my opinion. Tipping hat. Ask Gary, what did it say? There's a clone. Gary is stacking sats. I saw something, but it disappeared. Yeah. But anyways, here's what we're going to do. We've been streaming now going on an hour and a half on the tube. We're going to continue with the uncensored version on Rumble so I can talk my ish and say some of the things I really want to say right now, but I can't and I'm holding back. So we're going to head on over to Rumble for the uncensored version of the pod. For those who are new here, we stream simultaneous every day, 7 days a week on both YouTube and Rumble. YouTube stream finito. We continue with the uncensored version of the show exclusive on Rumble. The Rumble link is always in the description below the video, or you can go directly to rumble.cryptonewsalerts.net or simply hit the open up the app and type in Crypto News Alerts. You can't miss it. Let's all head on over to Rumble right now. And for you YouTubers, I'll be back on the tube at 9 p.m. Eastern this evening for the premiere of today's live pod, which we edit it down. We take the 2-hour full stream and we chop it up down to 30 minutes so it's easier to digest. No interaction or chat, just strictly content for you guys that only want the content. Hope to kick it with you guys at 9 p.m. But head on over to Rumble right now and let's get ready to rumble. Deuces, YouTube fam.